usually have a flush.
So the 3 year all right. Oh, an extra. That'll be a thing.
Actually, I told the dirty line, I'm gonna leave it unmuted, so you let's leave it probably out of yourself.
I'm muted.
That's
I'll give you the opportunity.
Good evening. I'm going to call to order this meeting of the High Point Academy Board meeting on August 25th, 2025. And we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move on with the reading of our mission and vision statements. We'll start with
High Point Academy's mission is to cultivate lifelong learners in a student-centered environment.
My vision. High Point Academy's vision is to be an exemplary school of choice for academically minded families.
and move on to the reading of the 3 R's with Castle.
We practice the 3 R's. Rights, the right to a quality education, the right to a safe environment, the right to reach my potential. Respect. I'll respect my classmates. I'll respect my teachers. I'll respect myself. Responsibility. I'm responsible for my education. I'm responsible for my actions. I'm responsible for my opportunities.
Let's pray. Father God, Lord, we thank you today for the beautiful day you've given us. We thank you for a new school year. We thank you for High Point Academy and all that it stands for. We thank you for each and every person who is here tonight representing the school, whether it be faculty, staff, parents, students, and the board members. Keep us safe this entire school year and bless this meeting tonight. May it be productive and may we keep you in all that we do. Amen.
I'm going to move for approval of the meeting agenda. I do have 2 amendments. One for executive session for the emergency operations policy, and 2 to remove the audit update as we are not ready for that. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with those amendments?
Motion.
Ready for our Christmas spotlight.
All right,
Kelly, you're first, young lady.
Okay. Tonight, we're gonna celebrate something that is gonna be a sneak peek for you all. We have not shared much about SC Ready scores, but when my team went through scores, we came across 7 students, elementary students, who made a perfect score on SC Ready writing for elementary. So I'm new to celebrate. We will share more about SC Ready scores, but you get a sneak peek tonight with these kids. So I'm so excited. Let's welcome Braxton Mitchell. So the three groups, the highest score was a 4. So all of these students made a 4. Congratulations, Braxton. Abigail Ross. Diane Villegas. Hunter Crandall. Ridley Marcano. And then my last 2 are not here tonight, Dumar Parks and Emerson Stain.
So with middle school, we went a little bit of a different direction where we wanted to recognize 2 students that demonstrated great character for the first few weeks of school. So just to give you a little bit of background on both of these students, James Kovalchuk, our 6th grader, come here for a second, James. So I think many of you know that James is from a rather large family, right? Turn around so we can see your face. So I was gonna say, Mom's gotta give you a picture. So James is one of our students that is multilingual, and so James always fills in for us sometimes whenever we're struggling with a student being able to communicate. We know that we can always pull one of them, and we're always excited because there's usually another one coming right behind them. And so we're super excited about that. But James definitely has demonstrated with several of his peers that are struggling with the English language, being able to help them and assist them and make sure that they're able to understand and know where to go, and was giving them directions and doing a lot of interpreting. So we love it. We love the Kovalchuk family. So thank you, James. So just a little secret about the next person. Come up here with me, Isabella. So Isabella, I have known as part of our middle school. She was here when I was the assistant principal, and then moved into the principal role. 6th grade year, she never spoke a word. And I always thought, oh my gosh, she's so quiet. She never talks. She never does anything out of the way. You know, she's just right there with the crowd. Well, then last year, she would always come and start talking to me and have conversations with me. And it was just joyful and lovely. Well, this year, we've received several new students that speak Spanish, just as Isabella does. And so she has reached out and said, Mrs. Goodland, I want to be able to help these students. So she has definitely led the way with our Hispanic population of students, Latino population, and has been able to work with us just as Mr. Kovalchuk has. So thank you so much for being so willing to
So I'm Tucker Hamrick, the high school principal, and I have the honor of recognizing 2 of our students. And we're using the theme of patriotism this time. Miss Martha Christopher, 8th grade social studies teacher, has the opportunity, I guess, to kind of lead the flag crew. And she has kind of nominated some people to do that. Andy was the biggest one that was nominated, and Maria kind of stepped in when he needed help. He was, in crutches last year, and he had some issues with that, couldn't always get out there, but he enjoyed the help that he had. Maria, I'm going to talk about her first because when I told her she was getting recognized, she said, "Oh, Mom's going to make me come." I knew that would be the case, but Miss Christopher was able to procure 2 flags that are flown over the United States Capitol, and the certificates were signed by Senator Tim Scott. And so we're going to present those to you today. Maria, if you'll come on up here, you're going to get the one that was folded greatly the first time by me and my wife. You'll see that it was beginner's luck. Here's your flag. Truly flown over the Capitol as stated by the certificates. It says, the flag of the United States of America, this is certified that the accompanying flag was flown over the United States Capitol in recognition of Maria Pettit for voluntarily raising and lowering the United States of America flag at High Point Academy every day. This honorable action shows great pride and patriotism in your country and is appreciated by all those who flew the flag on a daily basis. And you have a certificate of authenticity. Then my wife and I took 7 tries to fold this flag. And on the 8th try, I was like, you know what? I've seen Andy fold this thing by himself. And it's perfect. So Andy, I'm gonna have you help me get it in there just a little bit better at some point in time. Okay, but come on up here and get your flag. Just because you hate me. If you trip, I'm dead. I pick on him all the time for being a lot taller than me. So congratulations to both of you.
All right, thank you all so much. Thank you, staff and students and parents. Thank you for coming. This is the time where if you would like to leave, you can do so at this point. We would love to have you for the whole hour-and-a-half meeting, but if you would like to leave, now is your opportunity to do so.
Yeah, put it in there. I usually bring half them. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit from the retail store.
Now maybe not a question further name. Yeah. Somebody. Yeah.
All right, Katie, we're gonna move on. That's a good picture, thank you.
Yeah, I want that one to go on too.
Yeah, that's good idea. All right, so our quote for the day. I saw the quote, and I didn't know who the author was, so I looked it up, and guess who the author of the quote is? Guess what he does? He was the president of High Point College.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Isn't that cool? He was a businessman and turned into the president of High Point. And I thought, well, that's very appropriate for High Point Academy to use this quote. I like his quote. I think it still is relevant to us today, even though we've come a long way. We still got a long way to go, and we're not arrived yet. So moving along. Important dates. Graduation has been moved to Thursday, May the 21st. It's no longer on a Friday this year. Our speaker will be Chris Neely, who is the superintendent of the South Carolina Public Charter School District. He has agreed, and he has agreed to the date change. Is that correct, Katie?
Yes, sir.
So
Still at 6:30?
still at 6:30. It'll be on a Thursday night, and our speaker is locked in.
Great.
That's new during the holiday weekend.
That's because it's a holiday.
Is that what we moved it?
Yes, yes.
That makes sense.
So, out of kindness to everyone else, we moved it. Moving along, today's enrollment is. That's about 83 more than we started with last year. And that is 98 more than we budgeted for. So
That's
that is a really good day. We've had some, that is due to several things. We have used a company that has really targeted some of our younger students, and our enrollment in middle and elementary is up. And then Katie has taken on the role of contacting every new person who comes, giving them information. I think between the two, we have found the recipe for some success, and we're starting the year way above what we thought. And we're cautiously optimistic, and we've learned some things this year, and we got to do better because we want to see that number go to 1350 next year. So, but kudos to all who have helped and worked. And we had 4 or 5 teachers. We promised them some things. We had 4 or 5 teachers get 2 and 3 people come. And Miss Benson on our board had 2 or 3 people come and used her name as why they came to High Point. Way to go, Miss Benson. A job well done by many people. And that is a much better position to be sitting in than we were last year this time. So I thought everybody on the board would be happy to see that number. It's a really good number. Moving along. Our facilities, has everybody seen the new reception area? Has the board, everybody on the board seen it? I think it turned out extraordinarily well. We're very pleased with it, and it has served us well, and I think our parents really like the change. It's very professional, and we look like a school. I think it's been a really good change and an update for us. We purchased a carpet cleaner and cleaned our carpets, and it was a game changer. Our carpets are much cleaner, and instead of borrowing a cheap one, we got a nice one. And now we're paying, and we hired Brian Hopkins. Brian is over our custodians, and he helps with maintenance. And he has been a tremendous help to us. So we're really pleased to have him on board. He's working and helping Mike with some things, and he's working on making sure that all of our people are in the right place, doing the right things. So it's been a great addition. Joe, you're up.
All right. So most of you should know, hopefully, you've been to the website because you frequent it every single day because it's amazing there. But for those who don't know, we redid the website over a long period of time and finally finished it. So sure you know what the website looked like before. So this is our new website. A little flashier than what we had before. I did want to say we are working, the marketing folks that we're working with is working on a video for the school. So whenever that comes out, I'm sure Mr. Sherman will tell you that's going to be pretty awesome, but they don't have it finished yet. So anyways, this is just the front page. Gives a lot of information to users whenever they come to see. I tried to do, well, actually I did do, everywhere in our website is actual pictures of our students. We are working also, we're going to start working with Holly Pearson and some other people to get more updated photos throughout the website of current students, because you'll see some of these photos are students that are no longer here, but they were recently here. Scroll all the way down the bottom. There's quick resources down here, but up at the top, so we kind of streamlined the menu. I don't know if you remember the old website, but it was very difficult navigating, trying to find anything useful. And then even harder to explain to someone where to find it, even though you knew it was there. Now, where can I find it? And so now it's kind of been streamlined into a couple of main areas. One would be prospective families. So obviously those who aren't our folks yet, and hopefully we can provide some information to them that is useful and draw them into High Point Academy. Then there's the current students, everything you need to know, calendar, policies and procedures. I'll come back to that here in a second. Transcript requests for, that's a big one for seniors who graduated, after school program. I mean, everything you need to know is here. And then you have the employment if you're searching for a job, and then the donate here, and I'll pull that up in case you haven't seen it. So if people are interested, they have multiple ways to donate to High Point Academy. But let's go back here because I did want to point this out. This is new for this year, the staff directory. In the past, I think we just had kind of a little static list and may not have been that useful. So we decided to do a little different this year. And so if you go to the staff directory, it's broken down into the different groups. And then
High school first.
that seems to be the theme of people's preference. They want the picture smaller or not there. So at the top of each category, so elementary, middle, and high, you have the administration team at the top. Then as you scroll down, then you can see the teachers. There's bios. We are working. It's a process getting bios for every teacher. I've gotten a lot of those grades, done a lot of that work, putting that, or actually all of that work, putting the bios in. But you just hit load more and it'll start loading more teachers that are on the staff. Support. You can also, one thing that we tried to do, since we have, Ukrainian and Spanish speaking folks, you do have this button up here that they can click the language that they want to do, and it'll change everything to their language. So my eyes aren't that great. I have to use glasses to see distance now, so I don't know if you can see that change there. And so we've thought that would be pretty awesome. Also, one thing I did want to point out, that's way better now than before. The old website, if you looked at it from a mobile phone, let's be honest, most people are going to pull it up from their mobile phone. And if you do pull it up from a mobile phone now, it scales appropriately and things just fit better. I better change this back to English before I forget. So you don't have that problem that we had before where it's just, you got some kind of document and information right there and it's just scrunches it up so bad that it's useless. It does you no good.
Tried to click those like subfolders and stuff.
Oh, that was horrible. Yes, yes. So you don't have that issue with this version of the website. I think that's it in the nutshell. Mr. Sherman, you got anything you want me to hit on?
On the policy page.
Oh, yes, yes. So if you go to current students and where it says policies, procedures, and documents, this is something I put together a while back. And we've been working on getting everything, basically all the official documents into one spot so that you don't have, 10 different people working on 10 different documents and now you don't know what the source of truth is. So if you go here, it'll open up this website, just gives you a little bit of introduction. There is an index, and in the index, it has every document, a link to everything there. You can also search. So let's say up here, you're just wanting supply lists, you can type in supply, and it's going to pop up everything related to supply. So maybe you want all supply lists. Well, now you got a list of all the supply lists. You can click on each one individually. The other thing I tried to do, I did do for every one of these documents, is not only can you see it here, but if you click the download PDF version, it's going to take that document and you can save it, on your phone or whatever. You can print it later. So if they're shopping at the store or whatever, they've got that list with them. So the way this works is these are our Google Docs in the shared drive. So people have permissions to edit the official documents. So what that allows us to do is the links never change. And so that way, if they need to edit an official document, they don't have to go changing all the different links and send a new communication out to parents. Parents always have the link. It always stays the same. So
Go into, just go into students real quick. Yeah.
Under.
So that's all of our policies that deal with students.
Yeah, so we broke it down into policies here, rules here, and then these are just different documents, other kind of category. And we broke it down into, the different areas that kind of made sense that if people frequently ask questions about.
Does this cover those requirements that we have, that such certain policies are required to be posted online?
Yeah.
So this covers that?
Covers it.
Yeah, and I could be wrong, but I think also there are places that, so, and again, the beauty of doing it this way, because the links never change on the main website, I've set up areas that, when you talk about Title IX or whatever, and you use the link here, but you post it on our website, that way, when they click it, it goes here to the actual official document. So if something were to change, they always have the most recent live version. I think that's pretty much it. Up here, you do have the link to get back to the website. So in case you wanted to go back, and then this is a link to our official charter. So if you've never read it, it's a good read. If you want to go to sleep.
Question for you, the redesign is very professional. Did we design it all on our own? internally?
So this here, I designed all of this. The main website here, what I did was I took a WordPress theme and then just heavily modified it and tweaked it to how we wanted it to be. A lot of back-end coding to get it the way we wanted because the theme wasn't exactly what I really wanted, but I think we got it there finally.
And it looks very good and impressed, so well done. I was gonna mention that at some point, I think school's getting to be over 10 years old, or an alumni tab.
That's coming, that's where we're going, and that's a good point, that's where we're going. I want to thank Mary Allison, she spent quite a few days up here before board meetings, going through these policies, making sure they were up to date, and making sure we had it exactly like it needs to be, but we feel like we got everything that is a policy in that format. So anybody, any parent can go, they can go to Title IX if somebody wants to file a Title IX complaint.
Just click the wrong one, sorry.
Right.
Don't make me say that.
So there's a policy, and then you can go to the complaint form and you fill this out. Sandy has been to training. She is the administrator in charge of it. So she's the one that, she lets the principals do the investigation, and then she is the one who looks at the information and makes the decision. And then it comes to me or to the board, however far it may travel. But by law, I cannot be the first person to. So Sandy has taken it. She's been to training for it. She's trained to do that.
Any questions for the website or documents?
I know that's a lot of work, Joe. Brian, at least 2 years ago, told me that he was working on this and that this was something he envisioned, and to see it come to life. I know it's a lot of work. You've been working on it, I know for at least that long.
I've had a lot of people work on this. It's been a team effort, a lot of principals, a lot of people up in the office. Katie's worked on it, our attorneys worked on it.
I don't mean that to sound negative, like a statement. I mean, I know that that's been a lot of work,
But
and you've been involved all along the way.
we had to have some way to organize
Yeah,
everything, so
it's a
we know
great
where everything is. And when Joe changes it here, it changes it everywhere on the website, correct?
That's right. And with doing it this way, in the past, we didn't know who owned the document.
Right.
And then if, personnel change. And so now you don't know where that document is. Oh, oops, their account got deleted. It's gone. Which now we don't delete accounts. We suspend them. We learned a lesson there. But with it being in the domain shared drive, the domain owns the document, not individuals.
So when you change it in the domain, it changes it everywhere on the website. So we no longer have that problem tracking it on a different column. So this has been at least 2 years in the making, and it's finally complete. They were asking $50,000 to $60,000 to redesign our websites. I think Joe did a better job at a much better price. And he worked all summer on this. I mean, he took it home every night and got it right. So thank you, Joe, and thank you all those who worked on this. This is a labor of love, but I think it really helps our parents. It helps our faculty, and it helps our parents. If they have a question, they know exactly where to go and what to do. Any questions for Joe?
And I like how fast I can get to the calendar because I always couldn't find the
Yes.
calendar before.
Always. And just say like 4 minutes old.
All right, Gray, I think you're up next.
Oh, no, that's
Sandy Norman.
Oh, is that me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Sandy, go ahead.
Okay. We are thrilled, guys, to share the incredible strides our staff are making as we move boldly toward greatness. We are moving towards greatness with renewed energy, purpose, collaboration, and a relentless focus on student achievement. Our team is transforming, challenging into opportunities for growth, okay? And so this report captures the momentum, passion, and progress driving our community to new heights. So this year, we've added 2 fourth grade teachers and 1 using Title I funds. We've added special education assistants. We are fully staffed once again. We are tight knitted, we are growing, we are excited, we are on one accord. Our teachers are eager to learn. They are here for the students, student-centered. We have a low turnover over the past 2 years and running. And so excited to announce that Jacqueline Bishop, who graduated from High Point Academy, is a kindergarten teacher.
Oh, cool.
So we are excited. We are just we're headed towards greatness under the leadership of Mr. Sherman, with Greg in the front office. And I'm not trying to kiss because I don't kiss. I don't waste my words. I don't waste my words. I'm just excited to be here another year. We're fine-tuning things, and we're just headed towards greatness. And I'm just excited that things are coming together with the staff, and we're just trying to move on one accord and just keep moving on up. Thank you. That's my report.
Next time you can be a little more energetic.
Oh. I'll try.
Go ahead and talk to her.
Jacqueline was actually one of our valedictorians.
Yeah.
She was the second or third valedictorian that we had. So that, talking about alumni, that's been another project that Katie
Is she
and I-
related to Ryan?
She is. She
She's
was
the
Jacqueline
daughter.
Rice when she graduated,
Oh.
and then she married. So she is related to Dr. Bishop. But we're working on getting a plaque made to put, I don't know if we're gonna put it in front of course PAC that has all of our valedictorians on it, salutatorians, so they can have that on there. Insurance update, the thing everybody loves. We switched to Liberty Mutual. We did that last year. We had a couple different providers, but the short story is their premiums were going to increase about $30,000. Liberty Mutual offered the same coverage for $10,000 less than what we paid last year, so it was basically a $40,000 swing to switch to Liberty Mutual. Like I said, when Drew Darby showed us the document, I basically said, "This looks like a no-brainer. Is there any reason not to do this?" And he said, "Not really. You will be covered just as well and save money." So that's what we did. Sorry, Miss Norman, that you have to switch all that paperwork.
Oh my God. That's okay. We did.
There's better news. We got 2 things that have been on our report for about 3 or 4 years, and they're getting ready to drop off. So once they drop off, hopefully we can, if nothing else happens, we can get a better rate.
Yeah,
But
workers'
some of that stuff stays on your report for 4 or 5 years.
Is that, what insurance is that? Is that the major medical?
That was, we ended up going with Liberty for all of them. So was property, workers' comp.
For all of them?
D&O and all that? All of it.
They do everything.
Is it a package that we get that deal under, or is it still like a la carte?
A little bit of both. There was a la carte, but I think Liberty did cut us a deal because there was one of them, it may have been workers' comp. Workers' comp was going to be a little bit cheaper if we carried property with them. And that was kind of how you got that full deal.
Our building is insured up to 65 million. You divide it by the square footage of 333,000, that's about $196 a square foot. To rebuild the building right now would be about $240 to $245 a square foot. So we would need $83 million worth of coverage. But me and Gray have talked, there's a lot of wasted space in this building because it wasn't designed as a school. So we feel like we could come close if we had to redo something with that 65. If we ask for more coverage, our rate's gonna go up right now. So If the board wants to entertain that, we can definitely entertain that to go up on our coverage. I can get Drew to pull up the documents if the board wants to do that, but right now, I think we'd be about 17, 18 million shy of what the going rate is. It's about $245 to $250 a square foot, which is what the going rate for building.
Does our bond,
Yeah, section 6.0, just figure one agreement likely outlines your insurance requirements, and I think you sent that to Drew, that section to Drew.
Yeah, he has it because I have to turn it in every year.
Yeah,
and provide what we're covered under.
so there's a minimum that we have to have, that's in our life agreement.
We're over the minimum.
I'm sure they're mostly concerned with getting their balance.
of course they are.
If it runs right.
But if you would like to raise it, the board has that ability to do so. I do not know what that would cost. We went ahead and did it with this, but I just wanted the board to know that we would be 17 million shy, but I don't know if we reconfigured the building and the space that we would need all 333,000. So anyway, that's a board decision. Moving along, Mr. Gray.
Strategic plans, we focused this month on high-quality employees. Two goals in particular. One was professional development opportunities. We did a lot over the summer. You've heard us talk about letters for the past year, but it is a 2-year process that the state is making teachers go through. So our elementary teachers are starting in on year 2. But I think even after year 1, you can already start to see the results of it, like with the writing scores. I was actually talking with one of our first grade teachers and just asking her how her kids were. And she said for one of the first times ever, really, she said it's the kids that are moving to us that are behind. She said all of the students that I have that did kindergarten with us are where they need to be. They know their letters, they can write their names, they're ready to start first grade. So Miss Buster and Miss Hannon have done a tremendous job with that. But we had at least one full day of letters training over the summer, and then they'll do another one in October, another one I believe in February, and then there's a lot of work that they have to do at home as well. Eureka, many of y'all may remember years ago we first adopted the Eureka math curriculum. Well, they've come out with Eureka Squared. So we did, we paid for, used Title II funds to pay for 2 days of training. That covered the cost of the trainer, and we were able to give our teachers a stipend for coming in those 2 days over the summer to get trained. When we first launched Eureka, we had them come in and do the training, and we saw a big increase in our math scores. But since then, we've had a lot of turnover. So most of those teachers that did that first round of training aren't with us anymore, and the curriculum's been changed. So we did 2 days of that over the summer. SAVAS, and I may not have spelled that correctly, but that is middle school ELA. It is middle school math. So that is the curriculum that they've adopted. They did a day of training, and same thing, we were able to pay teachers to come in for that. And then middle school has also gotten a new program called Mastery Connect. It's an assessment-based program. It does a couple things. The two main things are, one, there's a large bank of standard-based questions that teachers can draw from to build quality assessments, and then it will also track how well the students are doing on those assessments. So even if, maybe you've got a standard that occurs throughout the year, the teacher can track, are they working towards mastery of that standard? But we have some PD coming for them to teach them how to use that software. And then the other one is, that we're going to talk about is the 3D, which is develop a peer coaching plan. That was something that we had in the strategic plan, and we have tasked Mr. Cox and his new role and Ms. Medford with starting to come up with a blueprint for what that is going to look like. So they will spend some time this first semester getting that together, and our hope is to launch it in the second semester. But that would be teachers observing one another in classrooms, giving feedback, taking back things they've learned. I really think as a K through 12 school, that's one of the things that we underutilize. Elementary teachers are great at small group instruction. They're taught how to do that in their teacher prep programs. As a former high school teacher prep, I can tell you they don't do that in the high school program. our high school can learn a lot by going and seeing what the elementary teachers are doing. And vice versa. It's good for elementary teachers to go up to middle school and high school and see, what it is that they're going to be expected to do in the higher grade levels. So I think that'll be a huge asset to our teachers if we can get that rolling here within the next year.
Thank you, Greg.
On the trainings here, are these in-person trainings or can it be done online?
Yes, I know at least the top three. Letters is a bit of a hybrid.
This year, it's gonna be all in person. We have all 4 scheduled as in person.
Do you, are there other schools that are doing these trainings?
Letters is statewide and required. So others are doing those.
Ours is a little bit different because we have more than 25 teachers doing it, so we're kind of our own cohort. And we can have an in-person training. If you have less than that, you join in other people through Zoom.
So that's what I was, are there opportunities to either invite others to ours
No,
or for our teachers to go to other trainings? Or are we just like responsible
we're-
for us, period?
yes, we're just responsible for us.
And I will say the Eureka and the Solace, that is kind of in tandem with our new math standards and the new instructional materials that were adopted. And so we have new curriculums, and those are like with this publishers, they provide some included professional development.
Right.
When you get a new instructional materials adoption.
Now letters, we have 4 or 5 new teachers this year who are starting volume 1, since that's what we did last year. And since that they're not a part of our group of 25, they will join in Zoom trainings with other teachers from around the state.
I think the goal is eventually that they will get letters training as part of their undergraduate
Yes.
degree, and we'll have it come in.
Gray, we did not mention this, but we did purchase Character Strong this year, did we not?
Yes, we have. So we actually had some money in the budget for it, but then when we found out we were getting Title IV, we've got it. The Title IV plan has not been approved, but the application has been put in. But we went ahead and bought the program. So Title IV is approved. We'll have to figure out where to pay for it, but pretty confident that it will be approved.
Kelly, we vetted this curriculum very well, correct?
Yeah, Katie's been asking for it for
This is one that most of us would give to our own children in terms of the content, the Character Strong content. So it's something that we feel like it's gonna be a good thing for us. And has Katie already started those lessons?
That's
Yeah,
all
the
grades.
middle school also.
That's all grades, right?
It's elementary and middle, yeah.
It's K through 8.
Okay. I'll go back to the trainings. Who leads the trainings?
Representatives from the companies themselves.
Okay.
So we're hearing, which was very helpful for Eureka to hear straight from them. And the lady, this past trainer that we had was phenomenal. It was a classroom teacher and she used Eureka in her classroom and now this is what she does. And then hearing some of the why behind it, if you just read it, you kind of skip right that part. Like this, she's like, this is what you do, this is why this curriculum was designed that way. So both of them and the letters trainers some work for local school districts, but they're also contracted through Lexia, the company who makes this. These are direct from the company, and Salus is probably the same way.
Salus is the same way. I will say that the Salus training that we did this summer with our math teachers, I'm not a math teacher. I was not a math teacher. But the way that they introduced the software to us and the ability to flip-flop back and forth and meet and personalize each individualized student's needs was easy enough for me to be able to understand what they were saying and to walk through it. So the training for Salus was amazing. We actually start our Mastery Connect training tomorrow. It's online. I've already sat through a remedial side of it for administration, but then we had to identify lead teachers for the grade levels that would do the initial training for it, that could go back and help with implementing it on this teacher side of it. So, but we have, I think there's 3 Mastery Connect trainings that will go on throughout the year. We'll have it fully implemented and launched by next school year, but by Christmas of this year, we should be available or have data available to us so that we can compare and contrast.
We also have linked it with our data meetings so that we're able to pull student, standard, and class assessments to be able to compare.
I've used Master Connect in another district, and that's Tammy, and the beauty of it is you can communicate with teachers all over the country who use Master Connect. So there may be thousands of teachers putting things into this website, ideas, assessments, so it gives our teachers an unbelievable resource of things to choose from and to look at. So I really think this is gonna be good for us, and I strongly support the Master Connect program.
The commonality of being able to do the common assessment across the strands of grade levels is one of the biggest interests that we have in it, because we want to make sure we're teaching the same rigor and the same curriculum in all of the classes, and to be able to provide that support for each student.
And assessment is what the school is working on next year. That is our big project, is the assessment itself. How do we assess people, and why do we assess them that way? You know, assessment is huge, because if your assessments aren't rigorous, then how do you know if you're communicating what you want to communicate? So, very good job. A lot of good stuff going on. We've had a busy summer, and our teachers are prepared. And that is the end of my society report.
Thank you. All right, we are moving on to approval of the minutes from the June 30th meeting.
Second. I have a couple suggestions. Yes. Add Chance Massey, to the guest. He joined us for the financial discussions. Clarify that the agenda amendments were for opening items, B, C, D, just because B, C, D is a couple times on the agenda. And then just for our knowledge at the bottom, add the audit services for approvals. We approved that agreement with Martin Smith. Just at the very end.
The further action.
Yes, but at the very bottom of the quick reference of approvals, it's on the,
Yeah, it's in the further action.
Yeah.
How much should approve as amended?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are moving on to our June and July 2025 financial report. I think we have a guest. There he is.
All right, Chance, here we are.
All right, so I have a presentation I'm gonna do for our July numbers. I'll go over final, it's really best to go over June in final format, but I'll go over with the audit in our next board meeting, but let's go ahead. In early June 2025, for fiscal 2025, the trial balance information we have submitted to be audited shows the school did meet their debt service coverage ratio and days cash in hand for fiscal 25. But let's go over July, and then there's a few things we'll talk about the audit that's going through in process right now. Make sure I can share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. There's the present. Okay. Hold on a second. Where'd that go? Everyone still see the presentation?
Yep.
Okay. So this will be our presentation for our July 2025 financials. Few things we'll go over, same format that we did in our last board presentation. We're going to do a financial snapshot that's going to go over some high-level July numbers, and we'll also talk about where our cash and cash equivalents land. Mr. Sherman's already mentioned the positive around our enrollment. I'll give an updated where I can anticipate our debt service coverage and days of cash landing for fiscal 26, even though we are just in the beginning of the fiscal year. Talk about a few takeaways, and then I'm of course open for any questions that anybody might have. So for July 2025, the school generated revenue of about a little over 1.3 million, 1,373,000. with expenditures of slightly over 1.2 million, we had a net surplus of 148. Now,
I think
that
you
is-
can't,
yeah.
if you're advancing the slides, we can't see it.
Oh, I am advancing. You can't see that? Okay, let me try to share this a different way because I'm going to share the screen instead. Let's just hope that,
Sorry.
all right, so this looks.
You said we were.
Let's
Looks like a
do-
great presentation. I can't wait to see it.
What was that? Okay. Let's do entire, how about now? Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Go, maybe.
So can you see it if I advance the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Thanks for saying something, Matt. Okay, so again, we'll go over our financial snapshot, cash, enrollment update, talk about our debt service coverage ratio, days cash on hand. We'll take a few takeaways for July beginning of fiscal year date, and then a question if you have it. So for July 2025, again, our revenue, 1,373,000, very strong for the month. Expenditures of 1,224,000 gives us a net surplus of about $150,000 for the month of July. What we always want to be looking at as well that gets tested as part of your bond covenants is your cash and cash equivalents, which is your available unrestricted cash. So as of July 31st, the school had $5,547,046 in total cash and cash equivalents. That's a factor of a few different things. One is our operating cash, which holds fairly steady at just a shade under $1.3 million. We purposely keep it around there because we have there's money that's in investments that's generating return that we want to make sure that we do a proper balance of maintaining cash in our operating account and also having money in accounts that are generating an investment return. We met as a finance committee last week, and we're going to be talking about a few ways to try and make sure that we maximize that investment portfolio return. We'll talk about that in just a second. So our money market account was a little over $500,000, and that only generated about $1,000 in interest revenue in July 2025. So we're shifting a couple things around because the First Citizens account that we're working with is only generating about a 2.5%, maybe 2.25% return. So as you can see at the bottom here, we have a meeting, a couple of members of the finance committee and myself, we have a meeting with the investment folks to do a portfolio review tomorrow morning. Because as you'll see in our investment account, it's holding $3.785 million. But investment income generated for July was only right at $2,300, and the fees were $1,400. So we're going to, it's the beginning of the fiscal year. We want to make sure that we definitely meet the number that we have in there for investment earnings. So we're going to be meeting with them tomorrow to make sure that we're getting the proper expected anticipated return on the investments. So let's talk about enrollment and funding update. Now, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page that, July and August funding amounts are always based on your prior year 135-day count, which was $1,195. So the school's July and August funding payments they're built on your 135-day enrollment, but you got your increased revenue per weighted pupil unit in July and August. So as we said earlier, I didn't see the slide because it wasn't showing up on my screen, but what was enrollment as of today? I'm sure you went over it. 1313. That's the number I had in my notes from our conversation last week. So if that stabilizes at around or even 1250 or something like that, we're going to if the school's able to maintain and hold between 1250 and upwards of 1300 to the enrollment for fiscal 26, that's going to be a great year. Somewhere around 1250. If you look at our budget, the way the budget was built, 1215 generated about a 1.25 debt service coverage ratio. 1250 with the increased funding of 4331 per weighted pupil unit puts the school at about a 1.5. We'll talk about that in just a second. But very strong enrollment numbers. Revenue per weighted pupil unit came in at above what we budgeted. And so all very strong for the start of fiscal 26. So it's really difficult at the beginning of the fiscal year, in July, to give you exactly what I'm anticipating your debt service coverage ratio should be for the fiscal year, but all signs point to the fact that the school's on pace to exceed the 1.25 budgeted debt service coverage ratio. And unrestricted cash as of July 31st was again the $5.5 million. And if the budget is really built around a daily cash burn of around 41 to 43, so let's use the upper end of that, $43,000 per day, will give us an anticipated days cash on hand of 129. So I anticipate the school will end the fiscal year somewhere between 125 and potentially 135 on the days cash on hand. And remember that covenant requirement's only 45 days.
Hey, Chance,
So,
a question there is, Kyle, the things that would change, between now and the end of the year would just be if enrollment changed either up or down, right? Or there was some type of odd, expense, whether it be a catastrophic expense or out of the ordinary expense. Is that right?
Yeah, and typically, I guess like 7 or 8 times out of 10, it's something large and catastrophic, like you mentioned. Oftentimes, it's something that can be capitalized, right? So, I don't know, something happens in the. I'm not trying to, on wood here, but let's say something happens and you have to do a major, pavement replacement. You have to do a major roof repair or something like that. That's not going to impact your debt service coverage ratio, but it could potentially, as you're saying, potentially impact our available cash. But as it sits right now, the school is poised with the enrollment that is currently in house at the moment, and with knowing anticipating where our weighted pupil unit revenue is going to go, anticipated far exceeding our debt service coverage ratio, and you've got the cushion of available cash to be able to handle, I would think anything major like that would come up. But yeah, to your point, a couple things that could change it. One would be enrollment shifting. And then the second, which I think you're 100 students over what we budgeted enrollment at, which was 1215. But the only other thing could be something that we just really did not anticipate. But also, if the school sees that all these numbers hold, and then you're anticipating a 155 or maybe even 1.6 or something, then there's flexibility, to come back and to say, hey, we've got this additional revenue. We've got a couple of things that we want to do as a school. And so let's go to the board with it. Maybe we can, do an updated projection, updated budget, and be able to spend a little bit more money on instruction. So the school will have that flexibility, which is great because, there are some schools that are struggling in that regard. So strong enrollment, strong revenue, strong cash. So again, these are the takeaways from July. We had a nearly $150,000 surplus. Year-to-date revenue, even in July and August, we're going to see our funded again based on your prior 135 day count. So you're not even getting your additional funding for your increased enrollment yet. So again, this is looking to be a very strong fiscal 26. With the cash and cash equivalents of over $5.5 million, we're looking at about an anticipated 129 days cash on hand. And enrollment, you're funded again, July and August, 135 days, 1195. If our 5-day is over 1,300, with the weighted pupil unit revenue at 4331, it's going to be a very strong start to this year for the school. So that's why I have the debt service coverage ratio here estimated at 1250 enrollment. If it stabilizes at 1250, we're looking at a potential 1.5 based on the budget that we created.
And Chance, where did our revenue per pupil come in compared to budget? I know there were some emails that came around, but.
Yeah, so that's here. Let's see, right? So we anticipated, 1250, we're anticipating 1250 plus stabilizing enrollment. We budgeted based on 4,300 per weighted pupil unit, but our weighted pupil unit, revenue per weighted pupil unit came in our last funding for July and August at 4,331. So $31 higher than what we budgeted per weighted pupil.
Do we think that'll
Now,
hold for the year?
Do what now?
Do we think that'll hold for the year?
I don't think so. Here's the thing. I don't know because I know some of the schools, their enrollment has shifted down, which means that if High Point shows this large increase, we could be getting a larger portion of the pie. But typically we'll see that go down. So I still think your 4,300 is a very conservative budgeted number. But, if it were to hold at the 4331, then that's just kind of icing on the cake. So I'd say we still hold our projection at 4,300. Because, I mean, with your increased enrollment, if we don't have to have have more additional expenditures than we would anticipate for your additional enrollment, the school will still be, again, probably hitting that 1.4 to 1.5 debt service coverage ratio based on our 4,300 budget. So it did come in higher. Will it hold? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it would hold the 4331. But it could. It could. That's the difficult thing is I can't, we've got 50, as of the 135-day count, there were 58,000 some odd weighted pupil units in the entire district. So the money that's allocable, if that goes down for some schools, up for some, if it maintains around 58, then yeah, we'll hold the 4331. I don't think it will. I think it may go to between 62 and 64, which could put us more like 4315, but anything above 4300 is to the good compared to what we budgeted. Yeah. So again, yeah, on pace to exceed the 1.25 budgeted for sure. Again, if the 1250 or greater than 1250 enrollment holds, school's probably looking at like a 1.5. And again, remember, this year with ending the prior fiscal year at a 1.11, showing anything we've talked about, greater than a 1.25 or 1.3 is going to be strong. We can make a solid argument to the folks at Moody's, to relook at that investment grade. And then beyond that, again, 43 days potential daily cash burn, what we're looking at. So 129 days cash on hand. Again, it's very strong. And that's the end of our key takeaway here is our 129 days cash on hand. Do we have any more questions or anything like that?
Thank you.
Yep. And so we've got a few upcoming meetings. One is going to be the investment portfolio analysis that we're going to do. And then there's also some, I believe next board meeting, I think we're going to talk about may have a financial advisor come in and kind of give us some ideas on some thoughts around our bonds. So all good stuff, and everything looks to be trending in the right direction. So again, if anyone has any questions or concerns post the board session, you can always give me a call or shoot me an email.
Thanks, Chance. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right, we are moving on to the live stream policy. This is an update of the policy.
Yep, act this past legislative season to require all public bodies, public school boards, and including charter schools to live stream their board meetings, and then to post them within 2 days after the meeting. And so y'all already do that. Y'all record them? Are they live? Do y'all live stream as well?
They are live.
They are live streams. So y'all are already in compliance. I knew that y'all recorded, but the fact that y'all live stream is great, and then post them 2 days after will put us in compliance. We're required to do this starting January 1st of 2026, but y'all are already good. You're also required to pass a policy that says that you're going to do this, and that's required by November 5th of 2025. So it's before you tonight as a first reading. I think it will come back before you in September for a second reading. So, happy to answer any questions.
The only question I had was, I had seen some discussion of 7 days instead of 2 days. Did that not go through?
I believe it's 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 days. Well, it was proposed at 2 days, but in the subcommittee, I think they sent it out to be at 7 days.
That may be.
That's what I'm asking. It didn't.
That did not. What was passed was 2 days.
Okay. Yeah. Which, so Joe, I guess that's a question for you as far as pulling it off of the live stream and getting it on the website.
Well, it's automated. So the way we do it is the live stream, once it finishes, it's automatic because it's through YouTube Studio Creator. And I have a playlist created called Board Meetings. And so once the board meeting is finished, it automatically flows into that playlist, which we have the link posted on the website.
Right.
So if they click that link on the website, then they see all of our board meetings that are automatically there.
So you've got it all basically set up on the front end. You don't even have to do anything.
Do we have to have a second reading, or if we're good with it, can we move ahead, or do we have to wait? Do you want to wait?
You are not, yeah, you're not legally required to have a second. So if you wanna check the box and be done,
Are you?
I'd move to go ahead and approve the live stream policy as presented. I think it's great.
Everybody for the electric policy as the way it's read?
Okay. One less thing to do next month. Makes it 5 minutes shorter, or 2 minutes even.
We have superintendent's report next,
We were done.
all right, and then public comments.
Yes, we have one, Mr. Collins.
He's back.
Yes, the token public is here.
I'm so glad you're here. Well,
Mr. Mullen, thank you for joining us tonight. Just out of due diligence, I'm going to read the requirements for speaking at our meetings. The official meeting of the board is by law a public meeting, and the board values citizen input. However, in order to protect the integrity of the agenda, public dialogue will be restricted to the public comments section of the agenda or as directed by the board chair. If you'd like to address the board, please check the appropriate box below, which you have done. Each speaker has 3 minutes. Speakers may not ask questions of board members. Board members may not engage speakers in discussion. Disruptive behavior by any person in attendance of the meeting is not permitted. Personal attacks aimed at students or staff are not permitted. Scurrilous, obscene, or recklessly defamatory language aimed at any board member is not permitted. So, you can track it or I'll track it. It's already got my timer ready to go. She's prepared.
Okay,
All right, and you're good.
all right. Well, I wanted to start with a compliment because I went through and followed my kids through Meet the Teacher. And I met Miss Patel. And I was extremely impressed, and the only thing I want to say is you guys need to do something nice for her. And that was the first thing, that was the thing I wanted to say. The rest of it is kind of responses to things I saw in the meeting this evening. I was extremely impressed with the way you honored the kids, especially with the flags. And also the bilingual kids using the resources around you. Quite frankly, I've never seen that in a school, ever. There's one other thing, another compliment. I forgot what it was, but if I remember, I'll come back to it before time runs out. But I did notice that the returns on your invested money is simply appalling. And I'm gonna make a suggestion here. I may overstep my bounds and you will say I violated the rules and ask the officer to remove me. I have took $209,000 last November, and I have placed it with a group called R&R Financial. And in the space of 9 months, they returned on that $207,000 or $209,000, an $8,000 gain. And I would just make a humble suggestion. You might want to talk to them. That's it. I've run out of stuff to say. How much time do I have?
You have a minute left.
Okay, I'm gonna venture a little territory here. You guys, in the previous year, had talked about developing your AI committee. And I had made some comments about the fact that I am no great lover of AI. But I have since started to use AI, and I've actually written some software with it. And I find I love it even less now because of the way people are using it and some research I've done on it. And if you are interested in listening to me, I would gladly share that with you at some point. So, because previously I really didn't have much to say outside of what I had said in the meeting. But now I've had some experience with it. Okay. Now I'm finished.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Conlon, if you would like, you may set an appointment with Mr. Lancaster, who is the head of our AI committee, and he can talk.
All right.
I didn't know I was the head of this committee, but I'll be
Take a motion to move to executive session.
Motion.
Second. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.